Hello? Testing. Oh, I hope this is working, because, well, otherwise I'm just sat in a room talking to myself. Not that I'm not already doing that, but... My name is Sam. I'm 20 years old, and just over 2 months ago, the world ended. The last time I saw another living person was 3 weeks ago, and they threatened to kill me, so I've stayed away from people ever since. Not that there are that many left to stay away from. I just found this phone in one of the offices here. I'm in an office block, by the way. Not the obvious choice for the apocalypse, but all the shopping centres were getting looted, and I managed to hole myself up in one of the few supermarkets left standing for a couple of weeks before the food started to smell bad. Here, though, there's a generator going that will give me a couple of days of light, and I've got enough food to last me maybe a week and a half, so I'll wait. I'm not exactly sure what for. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. If it sounds like I don't have a plan, it's because I don't. I don't think you can plan for the apocalypse. I never thought anything like this would happen, let alone that I'll be one of the few survivors. I took a quiz once that told me I'll be the first character to die in a disaster movie. If you're looking for a detailed timeline of events leading up till now, you're going to be disappointed. I was underground when it happened. Literally. I was at work, you see, stocking shelves. I hated my job. It was the same like day in, day out, until your brain just turned to mush. I kind of miss it. Anyway, so I was underground doing the stock take in the basement when the bombs started falling. And at first I thought it was thunder because it had been raining that morning, and you know that's not particularly unusual. But one must have fallen right near the store, because there was just this huge, like, colossal. Bang's not really the right word, because you think of a bang as being like short and high pitched and over quickly, and this was just like the loudest and the deepest thunderclap that you can possibly imagine, and everything just shook. Things were like flying off the shelves, and the ceiling looked like it was about to cave in, and I was just so scared. I wanted to go up to see what had happened. I don't know why, like morbid curiosity maybe, or I think I hoped that shelf had fallen over or nothing more, and I just couldn't work up the courage. So I waited until the sound was further away. Like, it was still going, but it was just quiet rumbling thunder. And then I waited some more. When I eventually got up and went upstairs, the door was it was stuck. And I managed to like wedge it open with a broom and like hack my way through all of this stuff, and I saw sunlight, which was odd because the store didn't have any windows. And that was when I realised it was missing its roof and most of its walls. It's a weird feeling, seeing something you knew so well just disappear like right in front of you. I've been there for 2 years. I knew all my colleagues, like all the regular customers who come in. There was this one man, he'd come in at the same time twice a week, like clockwork, to buy brown bread, fresh haddock and milk. His was the first body that I found. His name was Richard. The whole town had been practically flattened. And there were a lot of fires. I could have gone back to that basement and stayed there. I mean, there would have been enough food to have lasted me for ages, but I just couldn't. I might have hated working there, but seeing it like that. So I just started walking. They found a lot of graffiti on the walls at Pompeii. You know, that Roman city that got hit by a volcanic eruption. And it was all stuff like, oh, so-and-so is gay, or like, I was here. But my favourite one, I think they found it outside a brothel. And it was something like, oh, weep, ladies, my penis has given you up, and now it penetrates men's bottoms. The whole thing, it just struck me as so ordinary. Those people had no idea that their lives were going to end just like that. Neither did we. It's always been the same. You live until you die. We can still leave things behind, though. We have the words of those people at Pompeii, even if we don't have their names. I suppose that's why people graffiti things. To leave a mark. Be remembered. I think that's why I'm filming this. So many people have died these last few months, and they're all going to be forgotten. I don't know if I'm going to survive all this. I don't think any of us can be sure about that. But if the human race does survive and rebuild, and the world isn't just out there waiting for the rest of us that are left to die off, then I want to be remembered as someone who lived just a little bit longer than most. Is that selfish? To want to be remembered for outliving most of the rest of the world? Is this what the oldest living person felt like when they were approached by the Guinness Book of World Records? I can't sleep. I haven't really been able to since it happened. I get a few hours here and there, but I'm just exhausted all the time. You know, like, you're lying in bed and you're thinking, and the thinking turns into overthinking, and suddenly you're just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you're thinking so much that you can't just turn it off and just go to sleep. Yeah, well, turns out I have a ton of things to think about. I think everyone knew something like this was happening. It was either going to be a slow and painful death by climate change, or another world war, or I think people knew. The problem is nobody wanted to accept that there was anything wrong, and so no one did anything about it, and then it was just too late. I want to be angry at the world for that. Like, I'm still relatively young. I've still got literally nearly 3/4 of my life left to live, and just a lot of things I never got to do. There was this girl. She used to work at the coffee shop that I used to go to, and she was really pretty. I always wanted to ask her out, but I always got scared. She's probably dead now. I never even learnt her name. And I owed money to my flatmate. For a joint birthday present to someone or something. Fuck. I'm never gonna have a meaningful kiss. I'm never gonna have sex. I mean, not that I'm obsessed with sex or anything. Like, I don't even want kids, so, you know, like, it's not a big deal or anything. Like, I don't regret it that much. What am I doing? I am literally talking about dying a virgin, and this could be watched by scientists in 100 years' time. It is literally the Pompeii graffiti all over again. All I'm saying is that if they're expecting me to help repopulate the Earth, then they're gonna have to think again. Whoever they are. I hope the people that rebuild this Earth are the tolerant ones. The type of people that don't care what gender you're attracted to, or what gender you are, or if you have had sex or if you haven't had sex, or if you do want kids or if you don't want kids, or what religion you practice. It seems a shame to have to go through all of this and start right back again at the beginning. You know, I think the reason that no one did anything about the future was because we were all so convinced that it was going to be this big, bright, like, shiny thing, and, you know, we were going to walk around and fly spaceships in our spare time, like something out of Back to the Future Part 2. We're all just still so optimistic. I might still find love. I have to believe that that's a possibility, because I don't think I could stand to forget how it feels to be hugged. There are other things that I miss as well. Just little things like brownies. Listening to music, like lying in bed, just having it on way too loudly, like through your headphones. Christmas jumpers. Meeting a mate, like in the middle of town when you haven't seen them for ages. That part of your childhood where you don't know how fucked up everything can be. It looks like the person that owned this office was called Greta Stevens. This place was a law firm, and judging by the number of clients she had, she must have been pretty good at her job. I've seen her name several times out in the corridor where they keep the Employee of the Month awards. I hope she wouldn't mind me using her office. Kept it pretty tidy, I think. There's a word for the feeling of this place. Canopsia. That feeling a place that's normally busy gets once it's been abandoned. I imagine this place was really busy, filled with clients and like lawyers arguing with each other all the time, and so now it just seems more empty than your average empty building. I don't know. It's eerie. The whole world's in some sort of state of canopsia right now. When I was travelling, there were no road signs, it was just like cars and bodies everywhere, but the thing that I remember most is just the silence. No voices, no sirens, no cars, no bird song even. Like something out of 28 Days Later. It wasn't so bad at first. There's a kind of freedom to being alone. A lot of looting happened in the bigger towns and cities. I got this leather jacket on my way here. I've always wanted one. I don't think it suits me though. So the day after the bombing, I managed to find this supermarket that was left standing. One of the walls at the back had fallen through, but it was stable enough. And at the beginning, it was just like I was a kid in a sweet shop. Like I could just eat and drink whatever I wanted. But there was no electricity, so everything started to stink. I was there a week and a half before I just couldn't stand it any longer. That was when reality started to sink in. That there might not be any hope of making it out alive. Mass extinction events overdue anyway. This is depressing. I wish that there was someone here that I could talk to just distract me from all my thoughts. Talking to the phone is great, but it's not exactly much of a conversation. I used to talk to my mum all the time. We'd text every day, like religiously. We'd call like once a week without fail. We'd just talk about like stupid things, like everything and nothing. She was the first person I told when I was thinking about dropping out of uni. I think secretly she was quite glad to have me home. She was the first person I called actually after it happened. Lucky I had my phone on me because we're not really supposed to at work. Not that it would have mattered anyway. The phone lines were dead. Still can't sleep. The generator's running out of power, so just one light left at the moment. Sorry about the shitty film quality, but I'm not exactly working off a Hollywood budget. I wasn't alone in that supermarket. There were others. People who'd come through and pick up supplies before passing on to wherever they needed to be. Some were nice, some weren't. We kind of just stayed away from each other either way. You know how in films, they always show everyone coming together in the face of a disaster? Yeah, well, it wasn't anything like that. Everyone just stuck to the people that they knew that they could trust. There was one other person who stayed with me. Zara Chopra. Zara was in her 30s and she had lost her husband and her 2 children in the bombing. I think she was lonely. I think that's why she let me stay with her. But she made me sit down next to her and passed me this bottle of wine that she'd started drinking. I don't even like wine, but I drank it anyway. She'd heard from the people that had come through that this apocalypse had been the brainchild of some underground extremist group. They saw humanity as a plague on the earth and one that needed to be wiped out. So they did. The south apparently was almost completely obliterated, so not that much chance that my parents would have survived. I don't really know how to react to that. You don't expect to lose your parents at 20, do you? Like, they're supposed to stick around and help you figure out how to be an adult. Like these magical superheroes who can just make anything better just by giving you a hug. Till they're gone. They weren't there, and Zara was. And she had lost her family too, so we were kind of united in that. The first couple of nights that we were there, we just huddled together, just terrified that more planes and more bombs were going to come and finish the job. We told each other about our lives. Zara was an English teacher. She taught the creative writing club at school. She always wanted to be an author though. Her husband, Rohan, he was a solicitor, and he did all the cooking because apparently Zara couldn't be trusted anywhere near a kitchen. Their two daughters, Alicia and Priya, were 9. Alicia was at the top of her class, and Priya was already taking piano lessons. She just spoke of them all so lovingly. The 3 of them were in the kitchen when a bomb just dropped right on top of them. She told me she felt guilty, that she had survived and they hadn't. I wanted to help. I really wanted to say something useful. I think she wanted reassurance, but it's just feeling the exact same way. Doesn't seem fair that I'm still here when there are other people who... I'm a university dropout. I stock shelves. As far as the world goes, I'm not exactly useful. But life isn't fair, and neither is death. Sometimes the people that deserve to live the most are the ones that die. I told Zara that. But I don't think it convinced her. Didn't even convince me. The food wasn't the only reason that I couldn't stay in that supermarket. Zara killed herself a week and a half into me getting there. I think she wanted to be with her family. I buried her. I did a shit job of it because I've never buried anyone before, but and I just started walking, and I've been wandering around ever since. I don't know what happens when you die. I'm not religious. I don't believe in a heaven or hell because the world isn't that simple. It's not black and white. You can't split it into good and evil, but I'd like to believe in something. I'd like to believe that Zara found her family and my parents. My parents are at peace. I have to believe that something happens because somehow, if somehow they're still around after all of this, then maybe I'm not so alone. There's a knife at the bottom of my bag, just in case I'd need or want to use it, because maybe what happens after death, even if it's nothing, it's better than just this suffocating emptiness. It'll be peaceful. Maybe then I'll be able to sleep. Fuck. I can't do it. What I was saying earlier about a mass extinction event. I think the reason that no one did anything was that, one, we knew it was happening, and two, it was just painfully slow. It wasn't like the dinosaurs who went from being these big green lizards rolling around at the top of the food chain to asteroid. No, it was just us, slowly eliminating everything until we did it to ourselves. The things that did survive, in the case of the dinosaurs, were these tiny little mammals. And they went on to become us. Maybe it's the one no one expects anything of that survive. And they go on to make the future. Maybe all they need is a chance to show people what they're made of. I'm not okay. I don't think I will be for a really long time. I don't know. Maybe the end of the world isn't something you're supposed to get over. I am not going to give up. I am not going to give up. There's a whiteboard in the office that I've been using to write down things I just don't want to forget. It's just stupid things like people and places and myself. But it's something. I know it's not going to last as long as the Pompeii graffiti. I mean, it is a whiteboard after all, but maybe someday when I'm gone or dead or far from here, someone will come along and try and decipher it, like cave paintings. It does seem to be a human trait, doesn't it? Wanting to be remembered. Even after you're gone and there's nothing you can do about it, you still want people to talk about you, to know who you are, what you did, things you said. You still want to live in people's memories. I think talking's helped. Even though I'm not talking to anyone. Not really. The low battery notification has just come up on the screen, so I'm not really sure how long that gives me. you know how unreliable phones can be with their battery lives. I think it's just as well though. I think it's time. I'm almost out of food and I think I'm ready for whatever comes next. I've decided to leave the phone behind. You never know, someone might pick it up. I could always try and find another one and leave a trail of sad recordings wherever I go. I'm planning on heading north. I'm not sure where exactly. I don't even know where I am now, if I'm honest. But north's a better bet than south, so I'm hopeful I'll find something. Someone. I'm taking the birds outside as a good sign. If they're still alive, then there must be other people somewhere. I'm still terrified, but that's okay. I think maybe it would be weird if I wasn't. What I wouldn't give for access to music right now. A road trip playlist. People used to make playlists for all sorts of occasions, including the end of the world, in fact. There's this one song. What was it called? Dream Suite in C major. And it's got this wonderful feeling. It's quite old-timey, but it's got this beautiful sense of just humming along towards the end. And you're happy about it. I don't know what's going to happen to me once I leave here, but I hope I feel like that when I do die. Oh fuck, now we're on really low battery. Okay, I'll take that as my cue to get going. I'll just leave this here, I guess, until the battery dies. That's symbolic, right?